Hey everyone, what's going on? My name's Live, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the Mayhem Impact build. This is the build that I've come up with based solely around the Mayhem difficulty that was released with the Most Wanted DLC update for Payday 2 on Xbox One and PS4. I was never that good at Death Wish before the DLC release. I'm still not very good now, so Mayhem was kind of a good middle ground for me to practice on because it's closer to Death Wish than Overkill, but it is a little bit easier and it gives you a bit more chance to practice with different weapons, different skills, and different perk decks. So I want to take you guys through everything that I've got, all the skills, the perk deck that I'm using, the weapons, and then I'll go into some gameplay and share some thoughts about the build with you guys. Mayhem Impact is all about dealing damage, being the attacker, being the front man of the crew. And while it does present a good amount of damage to the enemies, does also mean that you don't have as much health as other people, like people who run tank builds or people who can avoid bullets or dodge. So you might find yourself downing a few times here and there in heists, but that's completely okay because it kind of is the counterbalance of being the kind of the powerful heister. You've also got to be able to be vulnerable in some aspects. So just having another crew member who's there to revive you, or having AI near you to get you up, or doctor bags of some form from another crew member, or even having them as a secondary piece of equipment, which I'll show you later, then something like that would be very useful. But other than that, it's about dealing damage and being the front man and being the person who you can rely on to take out specials. So I'm going to take you guys through the skills and then we'll get into some gameplay. So looking at skills, I'm going to take you guys through the sub-trees that I've really focused my skill points on. There are a few extras here and there. I've kind of, thrown away extra points that I didn't need, or if I couldn't get a specific skill, I'll just use the points for something else kind of thing. So I'll show you the specific skill trees and why I've chosen those skills, and then talk you guys through with some gameplay. So looking at Enforcer first off, I wanted to be able to support myself with ammunition because being able to drop ammo bags is not as good if you're the one taking the ammo out of it, in my opinion. So being able to support yourself so that other people can use the ammo as much as you are, and sometimes more, it's really good for the team, like as a whole. Unless you're on your own, in which case the ammo bags, are beneficial to you solely because the AI don't need them. So I've picked up Ace Scavenger, Aced Extra Lead, Basic Saw Massacre, and Aced Fully Loaded. I only picked up Basic Saw Massacre because I needed to get a few extra points to get up to Fully Loaded, so there's no specific choice to that. I wanted to use as least skill points as possible, and that worked out as the most effective way. In Tank, we've also Aced Resilience, and I've got Basic Transporter. So that kind of is easier for throwing bags around and a little bit more armor recovery rate, as well as reduced duration on flashbangs, which is always very useful. In Technician, we're picking up 3rd Law Aced, only so we can get up to Jack of all trades, which I have also aced. We allows you to have a backup deployable in a heist. In the gameplay that's coming up, I had trip mines and shape charges in my backup. Wasn't a great choice for the heist because I thought I would have 3, but I didn't realise that without any perks, we only had 2 shape charges, so that didn't really work out in the gameplay. But further down the line, like bringing a doctor bag like I talked about, that would be very useful. But basically, if you want to bring anything along with you other than ammo bags, then that's your chance to get it. So that's why I brought that in, because I think having a bit of a backup that's kind of unique to you when you're using the build, that kind of makes sense to me. So looking at Oppressor, we've got Steady Grip Aced, Lock and Load Aced, Surefire Aced, and Body Expertise Aced as well. Now, these are very specific skills that I focused on the build that I'm using because it's a very assault rifle and SMG orientated build. So having these kind of skills is really useful for making them, do the best they can do and using all their potential. So acing Steady Grip is kind of a double-edged sword. I wanted to get the actual skills in there, but also so I could move up to the higher tiers. So extra accuracy and stability is very useful. Moving on to Lock and Load, hip firing weapons while sprinting is just absolutely brilliant, especially with the extra movement speed, and I'll show you guys later that I've got with another skill. It kind of they all kind of work together, these skills, and I quite like that. But also the Ace version, killing 2 enemies with SMGs, LMGs, assault rifles, or special weapons set in automatic fire mode will increase your next reload speed by up to 100%. This bonus is reduced by 1% for each bullet above 20 in the total magazine size, down to a minimum of 40% reload speed increase. So whatever happens, you're getting at least 40% faster reload, provided you can just get 2 kills in automatic fire mode with an SMG and an assault rifle, and that's super easy with this build because that's what you're using. We then Ace Surefire so that we can have extra bullets in the magazine, speaks for itself, fire for longer without reloading, and then also penetrates body armor. That could be quite useful with certain armored units. But then the really big skill that we wanted in this tree was Body Expertise. Looking at the Ace version, because the Ace is just an improved version of the basic, 100% from the bonus headshot damage is permanently applied to hitting enemies on the body. This skill can only be activated by SMGs, LMGs, assault rifles, or special weapons, again fired in automatic mode, just like Lock and Load. So basically, any bonus headshot damage you would get for aiming from the head specifically, you would get across the entire body on an enemy now. So it saves you having to specifically aim for somebody's head to try and get the damage. You can just shoot them anywhere and it will do the exact same amount of damage. So doing that combined with the Ace of Surefire means with a bulldozer you can shoot them in the chest, you don't have to aim for the faceplate, and with about 20 bullets they're dead. on the spot, and the gameplay will show that on multiple instances. So that's one of the key things I like about this build, being able to decimate a bulldozer and not have to aim for the faceplate, because usually you end up with a few bullets missing here and there. If you aim for the body, there's plenty more area for you to hit with your guns. Looking in the ghost tree, we've got duck and cover basic, and we've got parkour basic. Extra movement speed just to be able to move around and kind of get to objectives faster. It speaks for itself. And second wing basic, when your armor breaks, your movement speed is increased by 30% for 5 seconds, which is extremely useful when you're trying to kind of move around with not a lot of armor, which I don't. I only have a lightweight ballistic vest in this build, so it allows me to move around a lot faster if my armor breaks, and then I can run for cover a lot quicker, that kind of thing, if I need to. But usually I'm not running for cover because I'm just kind of taking out specials. Basic the professional, just extra stability and quicker ADS zooming with silenced weapons. And then specialized killing aced, overall 30% more damage with all silenced weapons, and that applies because both of the weapons, my assault rifle and my SMG, are both suppressed, so that comes in quite useful and increases the damage quite notably for both of them. And finally, looking at the fugitive skill tree, we have 9 lives in Revenant aced, so extra bleed at health wasn't really the main thing I was going for there. It was the ace version, getting the ability to down one more time before going into custody. That personally I found to be very useful. On top of that, Swan Song aced and Feign Death aced. So with Feign Death aced, there's a 45% chance that when you get downed, you'll get up yourself without anybody else's help. That does happen a couple of times in the gameplay, and it's good. I mean, if you're someone like me who like knows that a heist's about to fail and then is ready to restart it straight away with your teammates, and then you forget that you feigned death, can be a bit annoying, because I did that with a bank heist on Mayhem. We were trying to get out, and I was the last person alive, and I was trying to move for the van, and then I ended up getting into Swan Song, and I was trying to run for the van, and I hit restart, and then I actually downed and got back up with Feign Death just as the heist restarted. So I was a little bit miffed about that, but just kind of having an eye out for that can be quite useful. But Swan Song, it's a brilliant skill. It's probably one of the best ones in this build. Being able to move for 9 seconds before you die, like when your health's at 0, and you can fire as much as you want without using any ammunition, but you have to have at least 1 bullet in your mag, otherwise you will have to reload before you can fire the gun. Any extra skill points? Not really got a lot else, to be honest. It was just in Mastermind. I got Stable Shot basic for extra stability, and then Forced Friendship basic for a few extra cable ties just to get hostages if need be. But that pretty much sums it up. So it's very much about keeping your ammo afloat and then being able to shoot anywhere in the body and be basically the powerhouse of the crew. So if we look at weapons, I'm using the bootleg rifle. Now, I understand that not everyone will have this from DLC, but it comes with the Sydney character pack. I will show you what I've got attached on it, and then I'll offer some suggestions for, you know, what weapons to use if you don't have the Sydney character pack, which personally I recommend is the best DLC in the pack for anyone who's interested. So we're using the AML barrel, the bigger the better suppressor, team boost, military laser module, rubber grip, and the War-Torn stock. I don't use a sight on it because I just kind of prefer iron sights on most of these guns. And then the team boost, for those of you who don't know, increases experience and money by 3% on whatever you get. So in the gameplay, we did Boiling Point on Mayhem, and getting the master server out was 3.6 million, but with our team boosts combined, it became like 4.1 million or something. So it comes in quite handy, and especially when you're trying to level up, that can be quite good. So, because I was in a rush to get to level 100 to make this video, so I could, you know, show all the skill points at use. As an alternative, I would personally just go for any assault rifle or LMG that you guys feel comfortable with. Obviously, make sure it's suppressed to get the most out of silent killing. So if you look here with the Buzzsaw light machine gun, my basic one that's just a proper loud one with the compensator on is 41 damage, whereas the one with the suppressor is 48.6. So, you know, it kind of, there's not much difference because the bootleg is only 50 damage and the rate of fire is 667. Looking at this, the Buzzsaw is a little bit less damage, but, you know, almost as good rate of fire. So that's possibly a good one for you guys to get if you want me to suggest. For a secondary weapon, we're using the CR805B submachine gun. This is a Biker Heist DLC item, but for those of you who don't have this submachine gun, I would recommend the Krinkov because this is a very powerful SMG. And looking at that, with a suppressor, it actually is slightly more powerful. And that kind of makes me wonder whether that would have been a better weapon, but I don't know. I think because there's more ammo in the mag, just slightly. I don't know. I like the CR805B for the reload animation and for the iron sights. I think they just look really good. But in terms of attachments, what I have put onto this, I have got, once again, the bigger the better suppressor, team boost, military laser module, and no sight or magazine, because I kind of just thought any extra ammo in the mag would be a bit weird, especially with only having 113 ammo, because having Surefire basic has added, you know, an extra 15 bullets to the mag. I don't want too much in, because there's a balance you've got to maintain between having not enough ammo in a mag and not being able to get the kills before reloading, and having too much so that when you keep firing, you end up with 0 ammo really quickly. So, kind of a bit of a balance there. But yeah, so Krinkov definitely was the one I go for. Either that or the Swedish K is a possible option as well. So it's up to you guys, basically personal preference, but the high power SMGs are the best one to go for in my opinion. So I'm using the lightweight ballistic vest, and with Jack of all trades aced, I'm bringing primary 2 ammo bags as well as secondary trip mines and shaped charges. Along with that, I'm going to be using the electrical brass knuckles melee weapon just for the effect of stunning enemies that you punch. It just makes life a lot easier. HEF grenades, for anyone who doesn't know the difference, HEF just basically has a more effective damage range. And then my mask, you know, the heat. I just kind of really like those sunglasses. But the perk deck is the ex-president's perk deck. Now, the key thing with this is it's about storing health. So anytime that you or your teammates get kills, you get health stored in a little smaller bar in the inside of your health. You'll see it in the gameplay. And basically what happens is the more kills that people get, the more health that's stored up to a maximum in the bar. And when your armor breaks, basically it saves whatever health you've got, and once your armor regenerates, that health is then added to your health bar. If you have, you know, more health stored than you actually need to heal, you'll use it all anyway. But it's really good for, you know, if you're really low on health and you need to kind of get a bit more of that, ammo bag, a med bag, sorry. It can come in really handy. But on top of that, increasing your health in general, so extra health as well, and a bit of dodge chance. I don't think I actually have much dodge. I have 5 dodge. Okay, so it's not remarkable, but you know, a little bit can help. But personally, I've just used this perk deck since the big score came out. I just really like it. It works well for me. If you guys have another preference like Crook or Rogue or something, then absolutely go for it. It's down to you guys. I haven't used Anarchist because I've tried it a little bit with an armor build, and I'm not too happy with how it works. I need to experiment around more because I know that it's a popular perk deck and I want to kind of use it to its potential. So I didn't use it in this, but I might use it further down the line. So basically what we'll do now is we'll get into some gameplay at Boiling Point, and I'll just share to you some more kind of suggestions and ideas on the build. So let's get into it. The Mayhem Impact build. Now this build in practice is actually really powerful in Mayhem, especially considering the health of enemies is a lot higher than on Overkill. And I think it kind of is about level with Mayhem. I haven't tried it on Deathwish, but I would be very interested to see how it plays on there. So if anyone actually uses it before I do, manages to get it, leave a comment, let me know whether it actually works. And, you know, that might be quite a good Deathwish build to have. But I focused it on Mayhem, and that's for a couple of reasons. Because I know that I wasn't very good on Deathwish, and I knew that I was very good at Overkill. And I kind of thought Mayhem would be a good little balance, and because of the loot value and XP value on Mayhem, it's a lot closer to Deathwish than Overkill. It makes me more kind of content with doing Mayhem loud stuff, because you're getting a lot more value of loot than I would have done actually doing Overkill loud before Most Wanted came out. So I do like the Mayhem difficulty. It's not overly challenging, but it's not so easy that you just kind of get through the heist and go, oh, that was a bit boring, no one stood a chance against us, kind of thing, you know. So, and personally with the difficulties actually coming out, I didn't see them coming out. I didn't think they would, because I know Almir said there would be a difficulty revamp, and a few people actually said in the comments on Friday's video that that meant one down in Mayhem. I didn't see that, because in my eyes it kind of would have been logical for him to actually show that off and go, guess what, those 2 difficulties that you're not got, you're going to get them, the ones from October, and we're going to add them in with Most Wanted. And he didn't say that, and that's why I didn't think Mayhem would be coming into it. But when I was down in the DLC and somebody commented and said that, I was over the moon to have those, because 1 down stealth is just amazing, being able to have, you know, more value for loot and stuff. And stealth videos will be to come, don't worry about that. But final thoughts about the Mayhem Impact build. So the pros of it, it's being able to kind of, you know, deal the most damage, and the damage against bulldozers is ridiculous, and I really like that, because literally if somebody says bulldozer, I'm like, where? Let me kill him, I can just shoot him a bit, and bam. Also, the movement speed is really useful, I think, personally, just being able to get around the objectives and not be lugged down by a lot of armor. The amount of health that you got with Ex-President's perk deck is extremely useful, and then also being able to run off your own ammunition by picking up ammo off other cops' ammo boxes. And also with having some of those ammo boxes with those skills with the Enforcer tree, some cops drop extra ammo boxes and things like that, and also you can get throwables from ammo boxes. It builds up a chance, so every time you pick up an ammo box and you don't get a throwable, the chance increases that the next ammo box you pick up will have a throwable in it, so it gets up to like 75%, and it builds up by like 1% every time you pick up a box, something like that. And I think that's quite useful, because it saves you having to run for a grenade case, and even if you have used that, there's not really a lot of ways to get throwables in this game, so that is a welcome kind of addition to be able to use that. Downsides, I think personally the bootleg rifle compared to the CR805B submachine gun, it lacks in damage. I think the CR805B does a lot better in terms of damage performance, because it actually has a better rate of fire and it has a better damage. Then conversely, the submachine gun does have less ammo, so that if you run out of ammo on that, you can switch to the bootleg and just open fire. So it's kind of a balance, because the whole concept about the bootleg rifle, you know, being an assault rifle with an LMG drone mag, it's a really good concept. So I suppose Overkill had to kind of balance it in some way, so it wasn't like a god gun, so that, you know, the best gun in the game wasn't hidden behind a price tag kind of thing. So I just really like it. I got it with the Sydney character pack, and I've been trying it out, and I just really like the gun personally. But I mean, playing as Sydney, personally, I think, as I said, is the best DLC pack offered in the Most Wanted DLC bundle, in my opinion, just for Sydney's character, for a weapon, melee weapon. I just kind of like it. I really do, and I would recommend it to anyone who's looking to buy a single DLC, so that's a possible suggestion. But yeah, so looking at other negatives, I mean, you know, the idea that you have to kind of get downed every now and again because you're doing the damage, that can be annoying, and it can feel like, you know, you're not as strong as the other crew members, but I kind of deal with that in the fact that it goes, well, yeah, I do down more than other people, I do use the doctor bags more than other people, but I'm able to deal the damage, and those two kind of balance out. Instead of being an average player who can absorb bullets and deal them out at, you know, pretty average levels, I can deal extra damage, but, you know, take a little bit more off cops as well. So there's some kind of balance there, personally, I think, and I think it's good to kind of manage that and experiment around and see different ways that it might work. So, you know, conversely, you could have a really heavy armor build with, you know, not as good weapons. You can sustain damage for longer, and eventually you'll get all the kills and you won't down. But I prefer this one. It's being in people's faces, it's doing the action, it's causing mayhem, which is, you know, very appropriate. I didn't even realize I was making that pun until I just said it, so there you go. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the Mayhem build, and there's not really a lot else I got to say about it. Most of it was just kind of showing you guys what it is, talking about it. But yeah, I recommend this for Mayhem difficulty or lower if you want to. Have tried using it on Overkill for certain achievements, and it works like a charm. It's even better on Overkill than it is on Mayhem. On Deathwish, that's something I'm going to try after recording this. I'm going to try and see what it's like on Deathwish, because I am quite interested now to see whether that unfolds in the way I would imagine it would. As for one down loud builds, not just yet. I will be practicing more with loud heists, and then I might get to a one down build. It'll probably be a one down dodge, because that is probably the road that a lot of people tend to go down. And I just don't know enough about dodge yet. I need to practice more with it, so I'll let you guys know about that. But next up will be a stealth build, so the stealth build 2.0 using the new skill build revamp, and also some more solo stealth heists. So if any of you guys have any challenges, builds, anything at all you want me to go through, I'm thinking of doing a shotgun build pretty soon and a pistol build. If you guys would like to see those, leave a comment, let me know. And I just wanted to say at the very end, I was going to put this at the start of the video, but I didn't want to kind of be one of those big YouTubers like, thank you guys so much for the support, and, you know, being super cringy. But Friday's video for me is one of the best achievements I've made in my life in this YouTube kind of career persona, because to have over 5,000 views on something that I thought would only get 50 is absolutely mental. So thank you so much for everyone who watched that video, liked and subscribed and told me you subscribed. You guys are amazing, and I'm really glad that you've stuck around to kind of, you know, join in with the community. And I hope that everyone who's been here for longer has enjoyed this video as well, and you know, the way that we're going with Payday. Obviously, there will still be other game videos here and there, but with Payday being such a big thing for me right now, I probably will focus on that for a lot of videos, but I'm going to try and maintain a balance, because, you know, I have still got exams to worry about. My next one's not till Tuesday, so I'm hoping to get a few more vids recorded before that, and then put them up every Friday, and hopefully I can get some in on Tuesdays as well, maybe other days, because I'd like to upload a bit more, since there's, you know, something to go off with Payday 2, so we'll see what happens. But there you go. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video very much, covering, you know, the entire Mayhem build, and all the different pros, cons of it, and where it's useful. I really do, because I use this build a lot, and I hope that some people will be able to benefit from it as much as I have. So other than that, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, comment with any suggestions you have. I'm welcome to anything at all, even challenges. Like somebody once said to me in another Payday video to try and get melee-only kills or throwable-only kills in a stealth heist. That's actually an achievement that I've got now. I'm pretty sure it was released with the Most Wanted DLC. It was, I think it was called Shuriken Shenanigans, and it was do a stealth heist and get at least 4 kills, but only with shurikens. And that worked out quite funny, because I did Ukrainian job. Ended up having to kill every civilian because I ran through the metal detector by accident, so that went quite well. But I'm open to any challenges, basically, so anything you got for me, leave it in the comments, and I'll get around to it at some point. And if I can't, I will let you guys know, and I'll explain why, like, in the comments. So don't worry, all questions will be answered, so make sure to leave them down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much again for watching. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.